What's up, Chicago world? This your boy, the Crime Chaser, your boy Marcus Robinson. Y'all already know who he is. One of the famous photographers here in the city of Chicago. He do proms, weddings, protests, contests, basketball games, football games, everything. I'll let him introduce himself, y'all. Y'all know who he is.
Hello, Facebook. You probably know me by Good Evening Facebook. And I am Marcus Robinson, award-winning photojournalist. I shoot for a newspaper called the Chicago Communicator newspaper. It's a small newspaper in Chicago, but I do proms, graduations, everything. That's all I got to say, everything. Whatever your photography needs are, I can do it.
And y'all know y'all can find him on Facebook. I already tagged him, so if you need him, get him. But we're not here talking about photography, but we're here to talk about this crime. Crime pays. Tell us about crime paying, Marcus.
It's paying a whole lot of people, from attorneys to judges to police officers to the mortician.
What about ambulance chasers?
The ambulance chasers as well, and the doctors, the medical, the hospitals are getting big. They're getting big money off of y'all dying.
Funeral homes?
Funerals, everybody's getting rich. Even those that march in the street that says stop the violence. A lot of them are not marching in the street to stop the violence. They want it to continue so that they can get that money, that grant money for their program.
So you telling me, Marcus, if crime decreases in a certain area in our community, I mean, the police won't be able to get no overtime, so that'll stop their money, right?
Right, and if you ain't got no gangs, what's the use of having a gang tax unit? If you ain't got no drugs flowing in the community, what's the use of having a drug tax unit? Get rid of them.
So tell me, right before we came on, people, Marcus and myself, we were discussing about crime, how it's contained in certain areas. Tell us what you said, Marcus. Like a fire. Remember?
It's like a fire. It's like a fire that burns, and you dispatch all your fire trucks to contain that fire in a certain area to keep it from spreading to a certain area. As long as it's in that area burning, you could care less. It's not a threat to you. But when it gets beyond that area, like a group of black teenagers went downtown, it becomes a threat to the so-called elite of our society. And now you want to put it out completely.
So in other words, when the crack epidemic was in our community, it was okay. Nobody cared. But now
it hits the suburbs and it hits the areas like Hyde Park.
Or the affluent neighborhoods.
Right. Everybody's crying and they care all of a sudden. But as long as black people were dying and black mothers were strung out and black babies were born with the drugs in their system, nobody cared. But now you care all of a sudden. Yep. And I guess we'll start caring more when white women will start being snatched off the street and found somewhere. Then people will start caring.
Maybe so. You know, and you know what, people, this is the truth. This is nothing to down the black community, because we both live in a black community, but these are the things that we see. This is 46 years of knowledge? Yeah. This is 50 years of knowledge. I'm gonna be 51 this year, if God say the same. And people, I know how I feel as a young, black, middle-aged, I ain't gonna say young, middle-aged African-American male. I see crime on a regular basis. I see it every day. And I see people profiting off crime. Police, lawyers, doctors, funeral homes, ambulance chasers. Y'all profit off crime.
The Civil War did not free us. If it did, they wouldn't be getting rich off of the crime. Well, a lot of you all are sitting in jail becoming what is called modern day slaves. And those of us that are not in jail, we are still in slavery. We just don't realize it, but we are still in slavery.
So it's a post that I made the other day. Slavery still exists, but it just changed forms.
Right.
They're no longer with a whip, a physical whip, and chains around our necks and around our wrists and our legs and all that, but it's the mental chains of slavery.
And those are the worst chains, the mental chains.
Because if you got a person's mind, his body will follow. And they knew when some of us was here already, was brought here to America against our will.
Yeah.
They didn't have our minds. They had our bodies in chains. That's what they had. But now we are the great, 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 great grandchildren of the slaves.
and we are still in slavery. I know a lot of you all would like to believe that Juneteenth was the end of slavery. I'm sorry to tell you, it may have been the end of the physical part, but it wasn't the end of the mental part.
And
that has gone on.
And let me tell every white person out here that's listening, no, you didn't have us in chains. No, you didn't whoop us physically, but you are enjoying the fruits of slavery, of what have been done to our race, to our culture, our people. So since you are enjoying the fruits of all this labor, you shall receive the curses of the wrongness have done to our race of people.
And for those of you who are offended by why people burn the flag, now I personally don't burn it myself because I don't see the point. I understand the anger of the people. They do it out of anger, not that they're against this country. We both love this country. This is a great country, and that's why we're speaking on the issues that go on in this country. But it is bad when the government ignores the cries of the people. And so that flag is a symbol of our government. And out of anger, some people burn that flag to get the attention of the government. If that's what's going to get your attention, to acknowledge that we're hurting, then burn that flag and get the attention of the government. But let me tell you, those that burn it, it does nothing to the rich. They're looking down, laughing at you.
And let me say this too. Only weapon that poor black people have is your purchasing power, and you can go down and start disrupting things.
Yep.
Because, you know, this is a perfect time to disrupt this system, because this system is threatening to go into war right now. They can't watch their enemy, their foreign enemy, and watch us as well.
Yep.
People, we got power.
And war in itself is money. They start wars. It's money and it's population control. And so for the white people who think that they're not affected by the violence that's going on in this neighborhood, there was one guy, I don't want to get into it, but he made a kind of a racist comment about the herd is thinning. Let me tell you something. He is right. The herd overall across this entire country is thinning. America's youth is dying, and it's not just in the black community. It's all over this country. Black people need to quit trying to be like them other people and stop dying. Let them down their own. And I'm not being racist. I'm being real. Quit trying to be like them. You don't have to do every drug that they're doing. You don't have to go to every party and party like them. You weren't designed to do that. Act civilized. Act the way you were designed to act.
Man, what could I say after that? That man dropped the bomb. Then he just like, boom, dropped the bomb. I can't say nothing after that, but hey, it is what it is. And if you black out there and think you racist, well, let me educate you a little bit. If you are racist, you think you could be racist, which you can't be racist, you have no power. You can go out there and hold signs up every day and say, I hate white people, kill all white people. That would never happen, trust me. They have all the power. They control the drinking water that come in your house. They control the gas that come in your house. They control the electricity coming to your house. They even control the food that you eat.
They approve it. You don't eat it unless they approve it.
And your marriage is not even recognized unless it's on a piece of paper that they approve it. Your ministry is not even recognized unless you have that license. And here's the people that don't even believe in the real Jesus, not the revolutionary Jesus, but they're giving you a license. Your divorce is not recognized unless you come through them. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Go ahead, Mark.
Jesus, speaking of law, Jesus was a revolutionary. Y'all sing songs about going to heaven? You gotta die to go to heaven. God put you here to live. Why are you singing sad songs? Make your heaven down here. That's what Jesus came down here to do. He came down here to teach us, but we rejected him. He was the most hated man on the face of this earth. And you want to know why he was hated? One, he was a black man, but he was hated because of what he did, what he came to do. That's why he was hated. And we are being hated because we are of him.
This black skin has made us guilty already without even cause. We're guilty because of this black skin. And let me say something to you. I love my broad nose. I love my full lips. I love my caramel complexion. I love my kinky hair. I love it. I love it, people. And I wouldn't trade it nothing in the world. When God made me, he did not make a mistake. And that's what I want you to fall in love with yourself. You can't love me right, Marcus, if you don't love yourself.
Nope. How can you love somebody else when you don't love yourself? Self-love is the greatest love of all. And that's why you don't let nobody tell you that you're nobody. Because as long as you're on the face of this earth, you are somebody. When you die, you was somebody. But if you ain't been born yet, then you're nobody. But you was somebody when you died. But you can't defend yourself when you're dead. But you can defend yourself while you're here. Don't let nobody tell you that you ain't nobody. And be yourself. Don't try to be like everybody else. Be you. Either they're going to like you for you, or they ain't going to like you for you. And if they don't like you for you, find a different circle.
And I know y'all haven't heard me say it in a while. I love being black. I love black people, black love, black unity, black power. And I love it till the day I die. People, listen. I'm true to this, people. I know I ain't gonna live forever, not in this body. And you that listen to me, you ain't gonna live forever. Everything that you own is only temporary. Your daughter, your child, your son, your grandchild, even that own body that you're living in right now, enjoying, it's gonna fade away. I love y'all. That's all I got to say now. Marcus got something to say, it's on him.
Well, it ain't nothing much to say behind that, but to say that I love black people too, and I love being black. And if I would have died, go to God, and he said, I want to send you back down there, make me black again. I love being black. We are a people. We may not all get along, but we are unique people, especially black Americans who were over here that survived the worst torture, the worst Holocaust of all Holocausts was slavery. The physical part and the mental part. We survived the physical, we will survive the mental part. If they do not have us, don't let them trick you into thinking that they have all of us. All of us are not on drugs, all of us are not in gangs, and all of our gangs are not bad. A gang is just a group of people. You have bad and good in each one. Your church could be considered a gang because you go to a different church. Does it mean that it's bad? No. So all I can say is love yourself. Love who you are. Quit trying to be white. Ladies, black ladies, your hair is beautiful. You don't need to keep buying all this other stuff, messing up your scalp and gluing it to your head. Let your hair grow. Unless you have a hair problem, I understand. But for those of you who don't, show your natural hair.
And that's it, people. Y'all already know what this means. Never give up. Black power, black love, black unity. I love y'all. I love you to death. If you never hear from me again, I love you.
Power to the people.
All power to the people.